Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc.
A victory for St. Kitts and Nevis' opposition leader in his legal battle with government. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Wednesday, February 20th. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Dawn Paris. Good evening. St. Kitts and Nevis opposition leader Dr. Denzel Douglas has emerged victorious amid a government attempt to have him removed from Parliament because of a diplomatic passport he has from another country. High Court Judge Trevor Ward on Wednesday dismissed the Team Unity government claim that by having and using a Dominica diplomatic passport, Douglas is no longer fit to be a member of the National Assembly. In delivering an hour-long judgment, Justice Ward said the diplomatic passport issued to Douglas by the government of Dominica as a professional courtesy does not in any way offend the Constitution of the Twin Island Federation. The opposition leader welcomed the ruling, saying that he felt a deep sense of vindication. In a statement issued after Justice Ward handed down his judgment, the former four-term Prime Minister said the court victory was not just for him, but for the whole country because of the far-reaching implications the case has for democracy and good governance in St. Kitts and Nevis. Douglas charged that in the first place, the case was an obscene abuse of the court and intended as a distraction and an attempt to malign and injure his character and reputation. And he said the judge's ruling sends a resounding message that justice, democracy, and international standards will prevail. Douglas says now that he has emerged triumphant, he looks forward to his next encounter with Prime Minister Harris and his administration. That will be at the upcoming general elections. Venezuela has closed its maritime border with the nearby Dutch Caribbean islands of Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao in an effort to prevent opposition leader Juan Guaido from trying to bring in humanitarian aid from foreign countries. Venezuelan Navy Vice Admiral Vladimir Quintero says the closure blocks movement of boats and aircraft between the western coast of the South American country and the islands. Venezuelan state news agency reported that the closure was ordered for the protection of the territory and in the face of possible unauthorized incursions. Curaçao's government, which has agreed to receive aid for Venezuela without being involved in its delivery, has said it will not force the aid, but will continue to function as a logistical center. Guaido, who last month declared himself interim president, has been seeking international emergency aid for Venezuela, but Maduro is vowing to block that aid from entering the country, saying the effort is part of a U.S.-led coup attempt. Well, the Jamaica government has cleared the first hurdle towards acquiring Venezuela's 49% stake in the country's oil refinery, Petrojam, with the House of Representatives on Tuesday approving legislation to facilitate the takeover. Venezuela's stake in Petrojam is held by PDV Caribe, which is a subsidiary of state-owned PDVSA. In the more than 5-hour-long debate on the bill, which was piloted by Prime Minister Andrew Holness, opposition MPs strongly disagreed with the takeover bid. They accused the government of seeking to expropriate private property and acting with undue haste. But Prime Minister Holness said the country could not wait until Petrojam was run to the ground to react.
After over a decade of talks, Venezuelan company PDVSA has not lived up to the agreement to upgrade the refinery.
Technical assessments have found that refining operations will be negatively impacted by 2020 if Petrojam is not in a position to execute phase 1 of the refinery upgrade project, which is the vacuum distillation unit.
Petrojam will also lose one of its biggest customers this year, the Jamaica Public Service Company JPSCO. It will be using liquefied natural gas instead of heavy fuel oil for its 190 megawatt plant. Next issue, sanctions against Venezuela by the United States has made it difficult for banks to do business with Petrojam. The Prime Minister pointed out that since July 2018, Jamaica's Petrocaribe Development Fund has been unable to make payments to PDVSA. And when a payment was made this year,
the funds have been held by the intermediary bank for sanction investigations.
the Bank of Jamaica has since requested that the funds be returned to Jamaica. For opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips, Jamaica's vote against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro at the Organization of American States has complicated the Petrojam buyback issue.
And that would at minimum, bring into questions on the part of those with whom you are negotiating your good faith, the good faith in which you are entering those negotiations. If we yield to the power of the mighty always, we soon will have no flexibility to operate for ourselves.
In addition, the opposition believes it's better for the government to wait until May before deciding the value of the refinery.
Whatever the valuation that you arrive at, there's either a discount to be negotiated or some other adjustment to be made on the basis of what the outcome of that review committee's deliberations are.
Weeks after expressing disagreement with Secretary General of the Organization of American States, Luis Almagro, over his declaration that opposition leader Juan Guaido be recognized as Venezuela's leader, CARICOM is at odds with the OAS head again, this time over his apparent support of statements about how elections in Dominica will be conducted. In a message posted on his Twitter account on February 7th, Almagro said he had met with Dominica's former ambassador to the OAS, who expressed his concern that the elections due next year won't be free and fair. CARICOM chairman and Prime Minister of St. Kitts Nevis, Dr. Timothy Harris, said in a statement that Almagro's tweet associating himself with the comment is the latest manifestation of his inappropriate behavior. He added that it was disturbing that Almagro had tweeted such a statement without consulting with the Dominica government. 2 days after Almagro's post, Dominica's Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Francine Barron wrote to him, demanding that he immediately remove the message from his Twitter account and apologize. Up to Wednesday evening, the tweet had not been removed. The Antigua and Barbuda government has defended its decision to enter a multi-million-dollar agreement with the world's largest independent cruise port operator to develop the island's main cruise port in the capital, St. John's. Prime Minister Gaston Brown said the $83 million deal with London-based Global Ports Holdings will change the island's landscape, as he acknowledged that the twin island nation's cruise product now leaves much to be desired.
At this time, our cruise product literally is rated the worst in the Caribbean.
But in order to compete, the government needs capital.
If we could have done it alone, we would have done it alone. In fact, we have tried.
Under the terms of the 30-year concession agreement between the government of Antigua and Barbuda and Global Ports Holding, known as GPH, the group will take over the management of cruise ports in Antigua in exchange for infrastructure and debt payments, wiping away the $21 million debt from the Nevis Pier. In addition, GPH will complete the fifth berth, which will allow the port to handle Oasis-class ships, which can carry 6,000 passengers. Plus, enhancement of the current Heritage Mall properties and the development of more retail space and food and beverage facilities.
Global Ports will pay us a head tax of $1. It is expected that within 24 months we should get up to at least 1 million tourists. So that will yield us at least $1 million a year.
We have managed to get Global Port to agree to a minimum of 600,000 passengers So in other words, even if we fall short or they fall short of delivering, we are guaranteed the head tax on 600,000 passengers.
Attorney General Stedroy Benjamin says there is absolutely nothing to fear in this agreement.
We are satisfied that there's nothing in the agreement that should be concerning the Antiguans to say that this agreement is against the best interest of all the parties concerned.
This new port will also increase employment, especially starting with the construction phase. Prime Minister Brown also promised no jobs will be lost.
And I want to reiterate here that there will be no displacement. There will be no severance or, let's say, no terminations. We intend to maintain the full employment at St. John's Development Corporation.
Coming up in Caribbean Newsline, dozens of striking workers in Guyana's bauxite industry given their walking papers. The details after the break.
One of my lovely assistants over there, please. Microwave assistant. If you would do this for me. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to get this into the microwave. Right? Here is your fork. Put it on for 2 minutes. Or put it on for 3 minutes. Every 10 seconds, I want you to go in and check temperature. All right.
Welcome to the WWG 2019 War with Germs.
The Oxitec antimicrobial glove is wasting no time, folks.
Quite right, Tammy. I see no way for the germs duo to come back from this.
Oh, what a slam. What a slam. Oxitec is the winner in less than a minute. WWG champion of the world. Find our champion at www.psci.biz or give us a call at 417-0777.
Continuing with more news, the Russian-owned bauxite company of Guyana says it's too early to say whether termination letters sent to 60 striking workers will be rescinded following talks with labor officials on Tuesday. A representative of the Rusal management team, Vladimir Permayakov, says the company consulted with its personnel department and labor advisors before distributing the termination letters. And he lamented that the company was losing valuable work days for no justifiable reason. We get more in this HGP News report.
Started by the bauxite company of Ghana, which is 90% owned by Russian aluminum Rusal, unilaterally gave its workers a 1% salary increase last week. Workers immediately expressed dissatisfaction with the minimal increase and embarked on strike action. The company then gave workers an ultimatum to return to their jobs. Several workers rejected the ultimatum, which resulted in them being fired, some 61. However, according to company representative Vladimir Permakov, when the workers decided to embark on a strike action, that warranted dismissal.
It's usual practice, not only in mining industry. If person is absent from workplace during certain period of time. In some companies, it's very strict, maybe 3 hours. You can be disciplined, administratively punished. But today it's 5 days already.
But is it in a written contract that if we
cease
work, they will be fired?
Of course. I'm not Mr. Know-all, but my colleague, personnel manager is here. Do you believe that our professional managers, including our colleagues, Guyana employees, would terminate somebody without consulting contracts, rules, and company regulation? I don't think so.
The company is unsure whether it will overturn its decision and rehire those workers who were fired.
I don't know. It depends on some compromise decisions, maybe. I want to be sincere with you, not to promise honey costs and golden rivers. But I feel very sorry that this situation happened, and nobody from this group said to his fellows, mate, guys, let's think. Let's go back to work and then meet other managers and explain our concerns or demands.
The matter is currently engaging the attention of the Ministry of Social Protection, Department of Labor. On Tuesday, the department met with the company since Rusal officials had refused to participate in a meeting with the Labor Department and the Guyana Bauxite and General Workers Union.
In this week's Newsline business, Jamaica's government debt is linked to foreign exchange shortage. Bahamas Air pins its hopes of an economic turnaround on a new aircraft and a major hotel investment in Guyana.
Newsline Business is brought to you by Solar Dynamics.
Jamaica's central government debt increased by $2.3 million between March and December last year. The fiscal policy paper, tabled in Parliament recently, says this increase was due to a rise in external debt shock caused by the depreciation of the Jamaican dollar. Meanwhile, the island's entertainment sector contributed $71 billion to the economy between 2012 and 2016. Senior lecturer at the UWI Mona campus, Dr. Sonia Nair, told a lecturer earlier this week that this assessment was contained in a United Nations study published in March last year, which looked at the creative industries as an income earner. However, she said while entertainment provides an income for many people, there is need for a program to support young artists. The national carrier of the Bahamas, Bahamas Air, recorded a loss of $21 million last year. That's despite a government injection of $15 million and increased revenue of $89 million. But the tourism minister is hoping that an investment in the new aircraft will help turn around the company's fortunes.
But what we want to do is to expand our international routes. Those can certainly be profitable if well managed. But the addition of another plane will hopefully improve our on-time performance. When you're a small aircraft company and you have a plane go down, it is extremely disruptive to your operations. And so maybe we can build a little bit more redundancy into our system so that when a plane goes down, we're not completely at a full stop.
Pegasus Hotel is expanding in Guyana. The project is expected to cost an estimated $100 million, and it is said to be the largest by a local investor.
I'm learning that the technology that is being used is new to Guyana. Instead of driving the piles in, they're casting the piles in, and that involves some more technical work. But it's a project I think is good for Guyana. I think it is needed in Guyana. Things are happening very quickly in Guyana due to the discovery of oil, and there's a lot of interest, a lot of business interest in Guyana. And therefore, this kind of project with the kind of accommodation, both for businesses and for guests, I think will be needed and will be very relevant going forward.
Mary-Claire Williams, Newsline Business.
Newsline Business was brought to you by Solar Dynamics.
When we were building in 1984, we decided to get the solar water heater.
We use it up to this morning.
From my home, we get rain 2 days and we still get hot water.
I've had it for 30 years and I have no problems with it up to this day.
All I can say is that anyone who wishes to have a system, try Solar Dynamics.
Solar Dynamics water heater systems are now right through the Caribbean.
Ahead in Newsline Sport, England closes in on the West Indies' historic total in the first match of the 5-match series. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the WWG 2019 War with Germs.
The Oxitec antimicrobial glove is wasting no time, folks.
Quite right, Tammy. I see no way for the Germs duo to come back from this.
Oh, what a slam. What a slam. Oxitec is the winner in less than a minute. WWG champion of the world. Find our champion at www.psci.biz. or give us a call at 417-0777.
Don't jump up to this non-stop turn and twist.
What up, it's your boy French Montana.
It's me, Smokey Robinson.
It's your boy Davido.
Hi, I'm Elamay.
This is Buju Banton, and I'll be performing live for the Shine Low Band in St. Kitts Music Festival.
Don't miss the 23rd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival, June 26th to June 30th, 2019, featuring Buju Banton, Smokey Robinson, Popcorn, and Elamay. Also, Davido, French Montana, Fimba, Edwin Yearwood and Crossfire, Coco T, Skinny Fabulous, Shal Marshall, Charlie Black, Farmer Nappy, Nadia Batson, Infamous, New Vibes Band, and many, many more. It will be epic. It will be mind-blowing. It will be jaw-dropping. It will be awesome. The St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other. For more information and to buy tickets, log on to www.stkittsmusicfestival.com.
Chris Gale's 24th one-day 100 propelled West Indies to their highest ever total on Caribbean soil and the highest against England, leaving the visitors with a record run chase to win the opening ODI of the 5-match series on Wednesday. But a century by Jason Roy has now placed England in good position to win the match. Opting to bat first at Kensington Oval, West Indies finished on 360 for 8 of their 50 overs, with Gale blazing a shot-filled 135 of 129 deliveries. Shea Hope hit a typically delightful 64 off 65 balls, while Darren Bravo chipped in with 40 and opener John Campbell 30. Ben Stokes was England's best bowler with 3 for 37, while leg spinner Adil Rashid claimed 3 for 74. Here are the highlights.
Like that. And that. And there's more. Don't know what there is out there, but they've got peppered. That's the biggest one. Strolled his way to a magnificent century. He's put a show on.
Shimron Hepmeyer held out to Jason Roy at mid-off. Another wicket for Chris Wokes, and then Nicholas Pooran on debut couldn't get any impetus into the innings or his innings, but Darren Bravo could. He was striking the ball as well. As we've seen, he struggled when he came back in Bangladesh late in 2018. He looked in good touch today. And he played his part in that vital innings and partnership with Gale, who had one or two close shaves. Chris Wokes felt that he was impeded, blinded by the sun.
Got one eventually. But Gale went on his merry way. And Ben Stokes a slow delivery. And it's a knock-on. Jason Holder given out stumped. Another wicket for Rashid. And that ends the innings. One for Joss Butler, get everybody out of the way. Issue. And that ends the innings.
We go live now to Kensington Oval, where England is just a few runs away from victory.
But I don't think...
People in the UK, around the world will be listening. How much of England found out about themselves and their batting?
Well, the batting, I think, is really settled. They know what the top 5 or 6 is. They will just maybe tinker with the bowlers. that batting lineup has been settled for quite some time, and you've got Alex Hales, who's a seriously good player, who's in the wings. Another young cricketer who's emerging, had a great time in the Big Bash in Australia, is Tom Curran. He will push this team. Young and ambitious, he will push the team to get into the World Cup. But if you look at England, I think if the World Cup started tomorrow, they know what their 11 will be. The one thing that England keep just chopping and changing is the left armour, David Willey. If it swings as it can do in England, Willey is a contender. 15 to win.
The second game in a row that England have had the opposition score over 350 against them. Last game in Sri Lanka last year. Right, and now in this one.
There you have it, England needing 14 runs for victory in that first ODI. West Indies batsman Marlon Samuels says this year's World Cup will be the last time he will wear the maroon colours, as he announced his retirement from international cricket. Samuels last represented the Windies in the tour of Bangladesh last year, but he says he's stepping down for personal reasons.
Let's see how it goes, you know. But I don't think I'll be continuing after. I mean, we set up a lot of businesses, and I want to be here to make sure that they continue to run smooth. Because for me to setting up all these businesses, it's for my future generation, which is my kids and stuff like that. So there's a lot on the plate, a lot going on. But I mean, one last big goal. Would like to go to the World Cup. Would like to win that World Cup for the entire Caribbean again. You know, bring back those lovely memories like the World Cup T20 finals. So definitely, the passion is always there, representing the entire nation, the Caribbean, and that passion will never leave.
Samuels is currently nursing a knee injury, and he says he will be seeking treatment abroad with the hope of playing for the region at the World Cup.
I'm going to Italy probably the 1st of March to go and see a specialist as well. So right now the process is going good, putting in some work and stuff like that. So you can look out for my knee to be, once it's 100%, then I'll be back and playing some cricket.
And that's the sport. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
When we were building in 1984, we decided to get the solar water heater.
We use it up to this morning. From my home, we get rain 2 days and we still get hot water.
I've had it for 30 years and I have no problems with it up to this day.
All I can say is that anyone who wishes to have a system, try Solar Dynamics.
Solar Dynamics water heater systems are now right through the Caribbean.
Coming up, the anticipation for Carifesta 2019 is already on the rise. Meanwhile, there's local culture on display as Carnival heats up in Trinidad and Tobago. And get fit for life during your next vacation in Barbados. It's all next on Caribbean Passport on this station.
Become part of a family of over 2.5 million people in 16 Caribbean countries. When you join a credit union, you're not just a member, you are part owner. Join a credit union today. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions.
Hey, Mr. Bentley, long say Tarzan, come on,
Again, the major developments of this day, the St. Kitts and Nevis opposition leader wins a legal battle against government over his Dominica diplomatic passport. And in sport, England closes in on a victory against the West Indies in the opening match of the 5-match ODI series. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, subscribe to CanonNews.com. And for more of our programming, log on to CaribVision.tv and check out our YouTube channel. We'll be back here again tomorrow, but from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and good night.